And we are back. Welcome to the first day of Matchday 2 in the UEFA Nations League. And welcome back to the prediction series once again after a night where I finally had a pretty good day of Nations League predictions. So much so that I actually got as many predictions right last night as I got in the first 2 days of Matchday 1 combined, which was 6 out of 9. And I have to be fair to the games that I did get wrong, what great performances we saw from those teams. Firstly, Faroe Islands getting the draw, which I did say was a possibility, but I didn't think an absolutely completely realistic one. So fair play for them for getting their draw. Georgia winning 4-1. What an unbelievable win for them. I thought that was genuinely going to be a tough game, but they absolutely proved themselves capable of doing it. And then the Ukraine-Albania game, I did say I thought was going to be a really tight one that could go either way, and it did go in favour of Albania, so fair play to them as well. And a special shout out to Germany for winning 5-0, really putting down a marker for where they are right now. A great performance from them as well. And obviously all the other predictions, although we didn't get any absolutely spot on, we did get them correct, which means that our Nations League results now stand at 12 out of 26 with 1 correct score. And our season results now stand at 70 out of 119 with 9 correct scores. So we're still over 50% for the season so far. We're going to look to get our Nations League result over 50% in today's games. We have got 9 matches in the UEFA Nations League today. And if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video and subscribing to the channel if you are new around here. And don't forget to check out the community page once again for all of the other internationals taking place over the course of the next 24 hours across all of the rest of the continents. And without any further ado, let's get straight into it. It is UEFA Nations League Match Day 2, Day 1, and we'll start off, as always, with League D, this time Group 1, and it is Gibraltar playing their first game of this round of the Nations League, taking on Liechtenstein. Now, obviously, Liechtenstein were on this receiving end of one of the most historic results in footballing history, with San Marino finally getting their first ever competitive win over Liechtenstein 3 days ago. Gibraltar are, to be fair, by far the strongest side in this group of 3. It is with every expectation that, to be honest, Gibraltar should really win all 6 matches and get the promotion up to League C. But we shall see. They have done well, like I say, in recent times. They won their most recent match. They also drew with Wales in their match before that. They played Liechtenstein 2 years ago and they won that as well. As we spoke about before the San Marino game, Liechtenstein haven't won a game for 4 years. Gibraltar are at home as well. I just don't see this being any other result than a Gibraltar win. Maybe, just maybe, you could potentially foresee this being a 0-0 draw, but honestly, I think Gibraltar are too good for that. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Gibraltar, maybe a 1-0, because like I say, these sides do tend to have very low-scoring games, but with the form Gibraltar are in, I expect them to get the result. From there, we move on to League C Group 1, and the first game in that group is Slovakia taking on Azerbaijan. Now, interestingly, these two sides were in the same UEFA Nations League group in the last iteration of the Nations League, and on both occasions, it was the away side that won. So, rather bizarre circumstance to see something like that happen. However, you have to sort of look at this and say that, again, Slovakia are a team that are playing much better stuff at the moment. They won their opening game of this Nations League. Azerbaijan lost their opener, of course. So I really look at this and think that realistically, Slovakia have to win this, especially being the home side. Yes, they did lose to Azerbaijan at home last time around, but I think with the quality of player available to them as well, Azerbaijan's just really poor run of form recently, I am going to go for a 3-1 win to Slovakia. The other game in this group I think is a lot more clear-cut. It is Sweden taking on Estonia. These two were in the same Euros qualifying group last year, and across the 2 matches it was an aggregate score of 7-0 in Sweden's favour, although I think I seem to remember when I looked at it, it was like 2-0 at home and 5-0 away, which is again a little bit bizarre. But these two sides also played in a friendly last year. Sweden won that to 0 as well. So realistically, tonight it is just a question of how many are Sweden going to win by. And who knows, will Estonia actually get themselves a goal? I'm not going to say so. I'm going to go for a nice round 3-0 to Sweden. But like I say, this could be, in my opinion, any sort of scoreline to 0 in favour of Sweden. That then means we now move on to Group 3, still within League C. I said it the other day, try saying that fast. League C Group 3. And the opening game of that group is going to be Luxembourg taking on Belarus. And if there was ever a game where I should probably predict a 0-0 draw, it is between a side that hasn't scored in their last 3 games taking on a side that hasn't scored in their last 5 games. And when the last time these two sides met, Luxembourg and Belarus drew 0-0. So, I mean, I have to look at it from the perspective of that I still think on paper Luxembourg are a stronger side. So I would still think it'd be a disappointing result from their perspective if they didn't get the win in this game. So I'm going to go for 1-0 to Luxembourg. But again, I would say be very, very hesitant if you're actually going to go for a result like this. For me, this has absolutely got the hallmarks of a 0-0 written all over it. But I don't know. I hate going for 0-0 predictions. I never get them right when I go for them. And I still think there's going to be 1 goal in this. And the most likely scenario is to be a 1-0 win to Luxembourg. The other game in the group is Bulgaria taking on Northern Ireland. Now, obviously, Bulgaria drew with Belarus in their group opener. Northern Ireland beat Luxembourg at home in their group opener. And again, it's a tough one to call. These two going a little bit further back than what we've done in terms of like previous Nations League, previous Euros. These two sides were actually in the same World Cup qualifying group back in 2021. So not too long ago, but still enough time ago for there to be a fair few changes to the starting lineups. On those occasions, Bulgaria won at home and then it was a draw in Northern Ireland. So you'd say Bulgaria have the slight edge in terms of the head-to-head, but like I said, again, that was a few years ago now. I think Northern Ireland on paper are definitely the stronger side going into this one. Again, like we said, I thought Bulgaria probably should have been beating Belarus away from home, so I think given the fact they're coming up against a stronger side like Northern Ireland, it is got to be a little bit more hesitant. I'm going to go 1-0 again. Genuinely, there is a world where League C Group 3 has 2 0-0 draws today. But I just think Northern Ireland have just that little bit of enough quality to end up getting the result over Bulgaria. But we'll see. Could I see Bulgaria scoring as well? Potentially. But if there are more than 2 goals in this match, I'd be very, very surprised. For me, this is 1-0 either way, or a 0-0 or a 1-1 draw. But I think the favourites should be Northern Ireland. That then means we skip over League B. No matches in League B today. We go straight to League A and we start off with Group 1. Opening game there is between Croatia and Poland. These two sides haven't met since 2008. So you can forget the head-to-head record when it comes to these two sides. In their group openers, of course, Croatia lost 2-1 to Portugal. Poland winning in the most dramatic fashion away in Scotland with that 97th minute penalty from Lewandowski, which ruined my prediction and correct score. Not letting that one go in a hurry. But again, I think Croatia at home, yes, Poland do have some world-class players. They have Lewandowski as probably their only world-class player, and then have a few very talented players in their lineup. Whereas I still look at that Croatia team, and as an actual collective, you would expect Croatia to be winning this game, especially at home. I'm only going to go for a 2-1 win, though, because like I say, I have to respect Poland. I think they are a good team that are capable of getting results against the likes of Croatia. But I don't think they're quite there yet. And I think, you know, if a result like this goes in Poland's favour, then maybe when they come up against Portugal, or certainly when they play Croatia in the reverse game, then you'll be looking at Poland going, yeah, they could probably win this. But as for today, I still think it is Croatia's game to lose. The other game in this group, I think, is an absolute easy one to go for. Portugal should be beating Scotland at home. Scotland should be getting beaten by Portugal away. Scotland lost at home to Poland. I'm going for 4-1 to Portugal. The question really is, are Scotland going to score? I think they're capable of scoring against Portugal. I do. But are they capable of keeping out a Portugal side that is usually pretty free scoring? I don't think so. I think if Portugal don't win this by a significant margin, something must have gone wrong somewhere. So I'm going for 4-1 to Portugal, and we all get to laugh at Scotland if that does in fact happen. And then finally, we have League A Group 4, where honestly, after what I saw from these sides in the opening group games, I really don't know where to put either of these matches. Denmark obviously beat Switzerland 2-0. However, they were playing against 10 men for 30 minutes before going 1-0 up, and then didn't score their second goal until Switzerland went down to 9 men. Then Serbia managed to get a 0-0 draw with Spain, which is an incredible result for them. So, do I really have a genuine idea where to put this game? Not to mention, of course, that these two sides were actually in the same Euros group this year during the actual main Euro competition, and they drew 0-0. So both sides are very good defensively. Both sides are probably not creating as many significant chances as they would like. Both sides have players missing through injury. Is there going to be a decisive goal this evening? Possibly, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I don't want to go for 0-0. I do think both of these sides are capable of scoring. Again, kind of like what I said with the Luxembourg, Belarus, Bulgaria, Northern Ireland. This is the sort of fixture I can see that is literally only 4 results available, and that is 0-0, 1-0 either way, or 1-1. And I'm going for the 1-1 because right now I really can't split these two sides. And then finally, you have Switzerland taking on Spain. Both sides, in my opinion, looking to bounce back from poor results. Spain are going to be very disappointed that they weren't able to win against Serbia. Switzerland are going to be very disappointed of how they lost to Denmark. It also means that they're going to be without Elvedi and Xhaka for this game against Spain because they're both going to be missing through suspension. Xhaka, obviously the most significant player that's going to be missing for them. But Spain, they have their own issues. They've got key players missing. No Rodri. Could be potentially that Dani Olmo's out injured for this one. They've got no Maratas. They've not really got a recognised striker available to them in the squad. It's a bit messy, their lineup. Obviously, they weren't very good against Serbia. Yes, they created a lot of chances, but they weren't any significant clear-cut chances that they missed. So, coming up against a Switzerland side that are traditionally very well organised, like I said, they didn't concede until 30 minutes after they went down to 10 men against Denmark. I can again see this one being very, very, very close. But, again, I think I have to back the European champions, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to Spain. But that is going to be it for today's predictions. As always, let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. And don't forget to check out my post-match reaction to the England game, available for you as the previous video on this channel. And like I said, don't forget to check out all of my other predictions for today's matches around the rest of the world. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you the same time tomorrow morning.